and 2022 CR 4259W, State of Texas versus Renee Angel Cantu. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar with the state of Texas.
Defense?
Floyd Barrera, Jr.
All right, and are you Mr. Cantu?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea on April 2nd of no contest in each of these cases. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty in each of the cause numbers. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Your Honor, this is the same PSI
Yes.
that was prepared for you when you first placed him on probation.
Welcome to one of the most dramatic court moments you'll ever see. The state of Texas versus Renee Angel Cantu isn't just another case. It's a battle of redemption versus punishment. A man with a troubled past, probation success, and now facing the weight of 2 serious charges. Will his 3 years of good behavior be enough to outweigh his history? Stick around, because the twists in this case will leave you questioning everything.
It's the same PSI that we've seen before.
All right.
She gave me 6-year probation. We applied for 5, so she gave me 6.
All right, thank you. All right, and each of the cause numbers, according to the plea bargain agreement, the state is opposed to your application. And it states in here that this is running concurrent with CM 105821.
And I think, Judge, that's one of the 2 cases, I think back when this pled, that waiver number may not have existed. So
Yes.
They just use this again instead.
All right. And they're taking in consideration CM 104043, NIMAG number 712122 and 712121. All right, state, you are opposed?
Yes, Judge.
All right, any witnesses from either side?
Just my client, Judge.
All right, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Renee Cantu.
All right, defense, you
Good
may
morning.
proceed with direct examination.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Mr. Cantu. How old are you, sir?
I am 33 years old.
Okay. And are you currently on probation in this court?
Yes, I am.
All right, and what are you on probation for?
I am on probation for a possession of manufactured delivered 4 to 200 grams that happened, I believe, in 2021.
Here's where Cantu's defense leans hard on his model probationer record. No violations, clean drug tests, compliance with every rule. The defense paints him as a poster child for rehabilitation. But here's the catch: being perfect under surveillance doesn't erase the crimes that got you here. Should spotless behavior now cancel out past wrongdoing?
Most of those cases, the majority of those cases have been disposed of, either taking them into consideration or just outright dismissed.
Correct.
And now you're before the court on 2 of the cases that were pending before we even applied for probation in the case that you're on probation
Oh,
for.
yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Now, is it true and correct that since the court has placed you on probation, no violations of your probation have ever been filed or have occurred?
That's correct. Not one. And I've been on this monitor for 3 years and since then.
All right.
and
So-
all good.
You're on a monitor for 3 years, no violations of the monitor.
Correct.
You've been drug tested for 3 years and no violations of any drug testing.
At
You've
all.
been, suffice it to say, 100% clean
Correct.
and in 100% compliance and in obedience with the court's probation.
Correct. And I don't know if the court remembers, but they gave me like a list of 9 things to do.
Correct.
Like intensive outpatient treatment, 12 weeks, a 90-day program, like just 9 separate things, but I've completed all of them. So yeah.
All right. And are you gainfully employed?
Yes, sir, I am.
Are you full-time employed?
I sure am.
And so suffice it to say that on page 2 of this PSI, the court was informed of this myriad of cases that occurred prior to you being placed on probation.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they knew that before, since 2021.
And obviously, these cases are now disposed of, except for two that are before the court today.
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay. So have any negative consequences occurred in your life since the court placed you on probation?
Not with
The court.
the court, but with myself, of course. I'm like, so when I wrote the court a few times ago, I really didn't mean disrespectful when I said, I'm not one of these hoodlum thumbs or thugs. I really did mean that. Like, I used to
Be a
mess up.
hoodlum.
Yes.
You used to be.
Cantu openly admits he used to be a hoodlum thug. This isn't just a confession, it's a strategy. By framing his past as reckless youth, he's inviting sympathy. But the prosecution will remind everyone, these weren't teenage mistakes. He was in his late 20s, making adult choices. Audience question, do you buy his redemption arc, or is it just courtroom performance?
Our case,
Mhm.
the state was silent to his application.
Mhm.
When I accepted that plea, I was not given any of the facts of this because these were unindicted cases.
Correct.
So I would like for us to get to the point as to the drug dealing,
Mhm.
because when the stipulations that were entered into, that everybody agreed, these are the steps. He's selling drugs and he's moving a large quantity of drugs. That's why this is over, I think, 200 grams. And the case that he's on probation for is not. The case that he's on probation for is, I think, 4,200.
Correct.
And these are over 200 grams.
Judge, when the offense that he's on probation for occurred, he was involved in drugs, clearly. They're all stated on page 2 of the old PSI. And, Your Honor, all of that is history. And it is obviously known to this court by virtue of the fact that since you have been in control of his life, placed him on a monitor 3 years ago, he has respected all the rules and regulations of the law and of this court. And so we cannot deny his history. It is there before you. It was for you clearly when you respectfully granted him his probation. Judge, he has made a 100% turnaround from the life.
Cantu openly admits he used to be a hoodlum thug. This isn't just a confession, it's a strategy. By framing his past as reckless youth, he's inviting sympathy. But the prosecution will remind everyone, these weren't teenage mistakes. He was in his late 20s, making adult choices. Audience question, do you buy his redemption arc, or is it just courtroom performance?
We respectfully submit that he has proven to this court in every way that he is sober, he is gainfully employed, he is making an honest living for maybe the first time, and all due to this court's surveillance and this court's observations and this court's control. There is no reason to believe that he cannot successfully complete any term of probation that you would consider placing him on. To incarcerate him after he's made such a significant change in his life, Judge. I mean, this is a success case. We don't have a lot of them in this world of ours, but he has proven himself in every single way imaginable to this court. So the purpose of the state being opposed to his probation will clearly, historically, I respect their position. But to oppose probation today, after the man has lived a law-abiding life, a peaceful life, and a hardworking, diligent life as far as being lawfully, gainfully employed, to throw all of that in the toilet and incarcerate him would serve what purpose? I mean, clearly punishment is punishment, but probably God is the only person who knows how much he has punished himself over his young years. You know where his father is. His father's in the penitentiary for dealing drugs. You know from the last hearing, when we asked you for probation, this man is grown up in CPS.
We hit a heavy emotional layer. His father is in prison for drugs. His childhood was fragmented by CPS placements. The defense spins this as proof of resilience, turning trauma into sympathy fuel. But prosecutors counter. A tough past doesn't justify drug dealing. What's your take? Do broken beginnings excuse bad choices?
Anybody in this courtroom or anybody in the community, because after 3 years of sobriety, now you're locked up. Would that help society?
No, that would be kind of dumb.
Okay, well, are you a contributing member to this community today?
Oh, yes. For the past 3 years, yes. Now I pay tax. I do everything legally now.
Oh.
Kind of side note. So, yes, I just want you to hear for my own knowledge.
That's fine, there's no question.
All right, so I tell you what, counsel, you finish your
Yeah.
questions, then I'll allow state
Thank
to
you, Judge.
do cross-examination, and then
I'll
if
pack
there's
the witness,
anything you wish to address with the court, you can. State, it's your cross.
Judge, sir, just looking very quickly at this PSI, one, did you review it with your attorney?
Yes.
Well, we're aware that during one portion, it says the defendant denied suffering any abuse as a child and reported CPS was not involved in his childhood.
No, I was in CPS for from 9 to about 17 years old.
So why would it be in the PSI that your attorney didn't object to that CPS wasn't involved? And this is all stuff that they're getting directly from you.
I was in Child Protective Services from St. PJ's, from St. Jude's. Yeah, like I could name them, Low Ridge.
Okay. So just going back, also looking at your criminal history, you agree with me, you have quite an extensive criminal history.
Yes, sir, I do agree with you.
And being out of Denver, it would be a assault to drugging victim where you did get probation. You were given 4 years probation, and that probation was revoked.
That was like a lesser charge. It was a regular fight, except to like a plea. Like the plea that I had, it had to be something about drugging.
You have that in your.
Oh yes, when I was 19 years old, I'm 33 now. I was a teenager.
Okay. And again, it was revoked on that back in 2020, correct? It says right here in the PSI.
The case happened in December 21st, 2014, I believe. It happened when I was 19 years old.
One other thing I wanted to ask or get into really quickly was, what's changed? What exactly has changed?
I grew up. I'm not kidding anymore. I was hurt. I was angry. And I know I can't blame anybody for my childhood. Like he's like, yeah, your mom's dead, your dad's, who cares? Like I'm an adult now. Get over it. You have stuff to do. You have to be an adult, you have a job, you have everything. Be a man,
At the time of this offense, the offense that you're here before the court, who was living with you at that home?
I was actually hopping around at that time. Okay. So I did need money. So I was trying any little way, to get money at that when that happened.
And again, this is after you've already been arrested for other cases and already had issues with drugs in the past. Is that correct?
No, I've never had a drug issue at all in my lifetime until these drug cases. Never in my life. So once again, that drugging victim is a regular fight out of Denver, Colorado when I was 19, except the plea had to be assault with drugging victim, but there was like no drugs involved at all. That was just like part of the plea.
Okay. Nothing further from the state judge.
All right, any other questions?
That's all, Judge.
All right, I have a question.
Yes, Judge.
So everybody, when they come before me, they're always talking about me, 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 me. My question is, what do you think was happening with the drugs you were selling?
What happened? Say it again. I'm
What
sorry.
do you think was happening with the drugs you were selling? What do you think they were going?
The judge's question slices through the excuses. Where do you think the drugs you sold were going? That moment is brutal. It reframes his actions as not just personal survival, but fueling destruction in society. This isn't about him, it's about lives ruined downstream. Chilling reminder. Crime has ripple effects.
$1,000 a week to maybe 300-400. So that was not, I was so used to like living with $3,000 or $4,000 for my rent, for everything. So I started like panicking, like, oh dude, I need money, you know? So that's when I thought I was Billy Badass, and I wasn't.
Oh, yeah. So walk me through this. So you are working.
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you reach out to somebody saying, hey, I want to sell some drugs for you?
So I was kind of in the ghetto, the west side, and it's not hard at all. Like you literally just go right there on Sasamo and Guadalupe. Hey, dude, you know, what do you want? You have everything there. So, of course, I initiated. I'm like, hey, I need some money. Like, what can I do? And then yeah, that's how it. I'm like, okay, you want to work? Well, here we go. And literally, like the second time, that's when the officers like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm an officer. Like shit.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
No.
Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, court will hear argument.
Judge, the state's going to argue here that I think he should at least get the 10-year minimum. These are a lot of drug cases that are all coming in very rapid succession. He also has a very extensive criminal history. The state asked what's changed between now and then. And there really wasn't an answer that was given. There was no details as to what he's done other than being under court supervision, where he knows if he tests positive for.
The state makes its strongest point here. Cantu's change only happened because he was under strict supervision. Was it real reform or fear of getting caught? They push for prison, arguing rehabilitation only matters if it's self-driven. Question for you. Is external compliance proof of internal change?
Entire criminal history was known to the state when this court placed him on probation. Nothing negative has occurred. Everything positive has occurred. This is a successful probationer. This is someone who has changed his life around. I don't understand the logic. What has changed? This man has changed. The man before you, Exhibit A, has changed. His entire criminal history is spelled out very clearly when the same state of Texas recommended probation.
Oh, I
Or
think they
at
were
least-
silent.
Or remain silent. And no objection at that time was offered by the state when this court granted him probation. Judge, this court, has helped him, as he said in here. Why do you want to be on probation? And he said, because it'll be my mentor. And you, whether you have agreed to or not, have been his mentor. You, whether you knew it or not, have had a very positive impact on this man's life. And Judge, I can't underestimate the strength of the statement. He has not stepped across the legal line in 3 years. How can we punish him today for what happened when he was 19 or 20 or 21 or whatever? And
I
these
think this is
cases,
from 2022.
these cases were already pending when the court considered everything and placed him on probation. He has not disappointed you. He has not disappointed probation. He has not disappointed anyone. His employer loves him. He is a hard-working, sober, contributing member of this community. To throw his life away and give him 10 years in prison, Judge, I don't see what good would come out of that, because he has demonstrated that he not only can talk the talk before you today, he's walked it. Every step, Judge, he's walked with you, with your probation office. I mean, thank you.
The state makes its strongest point here. Cantu's change only happened because he was under strict supervision. Was it real reform or fear of getting caught? They push for prison, arguing rehabilitation only matters if it's self-driven. Question for you. Is external compliance proof of internal change?
I don't see the logic in that. What purpose would be served to incarcerate a middle-aged man who admitted that he was a young, want to be the person who did not respect the
I mean,
law?
he wasn't young, because this is in 2022, so it was 2 years ago. He tells me he's in his 30s.
Correct.
So doing young and dumb things is usually teenagers, not people who are in their late 20s. I mean, that,
Yes, I understand.
for the
that.
court, that argument, I'm young and I'm dumb and I'm in my late 20s and I can't control my impulses, that's usually for teenagers.
Sure. And I'll that statement was going to all of that history that was brought up by the state, you know, in Denver, Colorado, and here and there and everywhere. That's where that statement was going. Judge, he admitted his guilt. He came before this court. These cases have been pending a long time, and he has never absconded from the jurisdiction of this court. He's never missed a court date or a court hearing.
Ever.
And, you know, he has patiently waited for this day to arrive, and it has. And I just would ask the court to consider the good that this court has done in this man's life, and why, you know, throw the baby out with the bathwater at this time, Judge. It's 10 years of probation. He's done so far so good. You can still give him the 10 years the state wants you to give him today. You can give it to him tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year.
All right, thank you. Anything else from the state?
Judge, again, these few cases that you have before you, you didn't have this information whenever you decided to give them probation the last time. It's because they were still pending. They hadn't been indicted yet. There was no movement on them. Now that they have come forward, this is what we offered based off of the facts that are in these cases. Again, the court did not have
This is
these
the
before.
cliffhanger
You have
moment.
them now. You have
The
the ability
state
to take
argues
this
for
into
10
consideration.
years in prison.
This isn't
The defense
a
pleads for
teenager
continued
who's making
probation.
bad decisions.
Both
This is a
sides
grown
have valid
adult, it's a
points.
grown man.
One
He made
anchored in
these choices
punishment,
and
the
the
other in
consequences that both
redemption.
know.
The
All right,
tension
thank you.
here is
All right,
electric
so
viewers.
Deputy
What
Mejia,
side are you
Deputy Laura,
leaning
if you'll
toward?
take him into custody and counsel, you need to be back here at 11 and the court will make its decision.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so we're back on the record in 2024 CR 4259W and 2024 CR 4260W. State of Texas versus Renee Angel Cantu. Can I have parties re-announced for the record for the state,
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
for the defense?
Roy Barrera Jr.
And you're Mr. Cantu?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Why are you banging on the walls in the back?
My ankle monitor was going off 5 separate times. Officer Mejia heard it. I was like putting it on the door. Just so I didn't want to get in trouble. It would be my very first violation in like 3 years. But Miss Priscilla Valadez is my officer. If you could please tell her.
No, that's not what we heard in the back.
Yeah,
That it wasn't related to your GPS. It was you bamming on walls.
No, it was me shaking the door to get his attention. But yeah, I think my thing's dead now and I don't want to get in trouble.
Mhm. Is there anything else?
Your Honor, he has probably never focused on doing what is right for as long a period of time as you've had him on probation as well as on your conditions of bond. It's amazing.
Liquor's good enough right now.
Yes,
It just started to get.
okay. It's amazing the turnaround that he has done. It's working full time, um, out of the I guess the situation, the friends that he was keeping, all of that, Judge. But he'll be the first to tell you it was you and this court, and it was your probation officers who have guided him and mentored him and advised him and counseled him all the way through. So I don't know that he could have done any of this without being under, your watchful eye and that of probation. You generally have some kind of excuses about ankle monitors, and typically, at least in 3 years, you'd think that you have some, even though it was just an accident, some violation, however minuscule. But gosh, I don't know how more perfect that you could get than perfect as far as his behavior and his record. And in view of the fact that, as you can see, he looks perfectly healthy. This is a life of no alcohol and no drugs, and just really getting a grip on the fact that he knows what prison's all about, Judge. He's been there. He knows what jail's all about. He's been in many. And he knows what his father's gone through, and he's still there. So I think he's really just made a world of improvement over his personal life. And because of all that you've done, professionally speaking, all the people he could blame, all the excuses he could have, he's got them if he wanted to use them. And you've never, ever heard him tell you anything about his past. His past is very checkered, no question. But also, the hand that he was dealt was not straight aces. He's made the best with deuces, and he's climbing out of a deep hole, Judge. And he wants to continue to climb that ladder all the way out and stay out. So I would hope that you would consider all the good that he's been able to accomplish and allow him the opportunity to continue doing what's right, what's good, what's healthy. You can just look at him. He's living a healthy life. Well, it's true.
Yes.
All right, anything from the state?
No.
All right, so
That's something.
here's the thing. Mr. Garahan, I know you're not the one who worked out this agreement. And this is why the court likes for cases to move quickly enough so that everybody, no violation of due process will occur. Because many a times I will have people who come before me and cases have been transferred from other courts where somebody's on their fourth or fifth DWI. And they come to me and it's been transferred to my court. And this person has been on ignition interlock for 4 years because I end up with an old case that's been transferred from another court. And then what ends up happening is people will argue to me, this person has been in rehab for 2 years. Everything is going well for them. isn't punishment about rehabilitation? And that's true. Punishment is about rehabilitation, but it's also about punishment. He was placed on probation by this court in another case, 2022 CR 11790. And he was placed on probation in that case because parties proceeded on it as a possession case. Let me check to make sure. Yes, parties proceeded on it as a possession case, and the state was silent. And while these other two cases were pending, that's when the plea was entered into. The court did not receive information about these two cases because I'm assuming, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, labs were not in, so no one knew what the drugs would be positive for. And no information was presented to the court in the sentencing for the 2022 CR 11790 case, the weight of these drugs, what these drugs were for, because again, nobody had information on that. And the laboratory reports were not in. So hopefully more money will be spent in improving how long it takes for drug testing to come back, so we won't have a situation that we have now. So now what I have before me is I have a situation where somebody is on probation. The court hasn't received any violations of probation because these cases were pending when he was placed on probation. So technically that is not a violation. And in these two cases, you're a drug dealer. That's it. And you are building your happiness off somebody else's misery because drugs destroy lives, and people who are drug dealers are doing it for a.
Here comes the verdict: 10 years prison, but suspended for 10 years of probation. This is a rare balancing act punishment on paper, but freedom under strict supervision. GPS monitors, drug tests, therapy, the works. Basically, a decade-long second chance. Was this justice, mercy, or both?
Some people who are in their 30s, they start using drugs and then they can't kick them.
Yes, ma'am.
But this is destroying people's lives, and this was drug dealing.
Yes, ma'am.
Why the federal government has not come to your doorstep, I don't know. This is state jurisdiction, so I'm just dealing with what I have before me here. Under normal circumstances, all things considered, if you just had these two cases and you're not on probation with the court, I'd send you to prison. But you're on probation. And so I have to deal with what I have here. So this is what the court is going to do. In each case, the court is finding you guilty. The court is sentencing you to 10 years in the prison. That will be suspended and probated for 10 years. These cases will run concurrently. Taking consideration CM 104043, NITMAG number 712122 and 712121. You're going to remain on GPS until further notice.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's GPS until further notice. Probation. I'm going to want random field visits until further notice. And there's to be field visits no less than 2 months. No less than every 2 months. I'm going to order the MRT.
I didn't hear that.
MRT,
What is that, Joe?
moral recognition therapy.
Okay.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. The UA hotline until further notice. And probation, the UA hotline, he needs to be tested at least once a month, and it's random. But if you all want to test him more than that, you can test him more than that. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And based upon what you said your occupation is, they need to know what you're on probation for, and they need to provide a letter to probation stating that you've informed them what you're on probation for. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. It's already in file. They have, I was 10 steps ahead. I already had it from my boss.
All right. You need to turn it over to probation.
Yes, ma'am.
And probation, you need to call his employer to make sure that that's the employer. There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. Probation, is there anything else? And state, do you know if there's any restitution for, I'm going to put restitution for drug testing. All right. And there's going to be restitution for drug testing, and each cost. I think the DEA are the ones who did that. Let me double check. I think it would be the United States government, and we'll see who wants it as far as the funds. All right. And probation, is there anything else?
No.
Anything else? All right. And also, you're not, just 1 second, and also, you're not allowed to possess any scales. So you're going to have to figure out how else to weigh yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Probation? Yes, counsel?
Yes, Judge, are the 3 probations running concurrently?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
Thank you, Judge.
Hey, what do you suggest on my ankle monitor? Just call Miss Priscilla Valadez and say, hey,
Probation will tell you what to do with that.
thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right. Did you review the documents entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I should.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak with your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Probation.
Yes, Judge. In regards to the monitor, is monitored through trial services. So,
All right.
let that monitor removed, or have the new monitor installed before removal, or?
Yes. I need to have a new monitor installed before removal.
Is that going to work release, or is it what happens to that monitor?
All right. If it's through work release, will he have to walk over to the jail? All right. They've been saying they don't want that anymore because they are low on funds. You're going to have to pay for GPS.
Okay, it's $300 a month. I remember you have waived that.
That's because you're with pretrial. But this
Okay.
is an outside agency, so I can ask that it be waived,
Okay,
but I have no authority.
So, what just happened? Renee Angel Cantu avoids prison for now, but remains chained to probation for the next 10 years. The judge sends a clear message. Redemption is possible, but consequences remain. A powerful mix of accountability and mercy. Now, we want to hear from you. Did the court make the right call? If you found this case as shocking as we did, smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.
When you get the probation, then you start asking for extra. So you need to hold on to the thought that you were 2 seconds from going to prison for 10 years.
yes, ma'am.
All
I
right.
apologize. Yes, ma'am.
And now you're on probation.
Yes, ma'am.
So you need to let that marinate.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I like that word.